Well, good evening, racing fans. Welcome to Racing Action from Grand River Raceway for this Monday evening. Our first dash will go to post in approximately 20 minutes. Note the track listed as fast. Temperature will be recorded as 20 degrees Celsius. Let's get a look at the changes. Fans note in race number one, there are no changes. No changes, race number one. Race number two, scratches of 3, Treasure's Gem, and 4, Fashion Forward. 3 and 4 are out. And note that number 5, Sega has a missing chart line from Flamber on the 7th. Finished fourth beaten 5.5 and 156 and 4. That's fourth beaten 5.5 and 156 and 4. Race number 3 has no changes. No changes, race number 3. In race number 4, Telling White Lies is scratched. Race 4, scratch 4, Telling White Lies. In race number 5, well, a couple of notes. 1, Savoie du Hurrah, missing a line from the 7th. Finished a winner by a length and a half. 156 and 1. That's 156 and 1. Savoie du Hurrah, a winner by a length and a half and 156 and 1. And note that number 5, Sun Seeker, the line is second, beaten 3/4 length and 156 and 4. Jason Ryan was the driver. Also note on Savoie du Hurrah, it was Ryan DeRoche driving. Race number 6 has no changes. No changes, race number 6. Race number 7, 1, Shushideo, driver to be announced, TBA on the 1. And number 6, Third Time's the Dream, driver to be announced. And note, adding blinkers, a bridle change is adding blinkers. Race number 8 has no changes. No changes, race 8. And race number 9, number 5, Adore Him, driver to be announced, race 9-5 TBA. That's the final dash. Let's once again get a look at races 1 and 2. Note there are no changes, race 1 and race 2. Scratches of 3 and 4. 5 was Sega. Finished a fourth beaten 5.5 and 156 and 4. It is currently 16 minutes to post time. And time to welcome in our co-host and handicapping expert, Robert Reed Jr. How you doing this Monday evening, Rob?
Doing fantastic, Gary, and excited just to start off a whole other week here at Grand River Raceway. We're going to call it, we'll call it Marvelous Monday tonight because, well, we've got a couple of divisions of the OSS Grassroots for 2-year-old trotting fillies. Those races are always a lot of fun, and it's going to be dashes 1 and 3 this evening. Got some of the top drivers in town from Mohawk Park as well for those races. Always fun to check out that action. A little bit unpredictable too, right? Those 2-year-old trotting fillies. So maybe we'll see some big payouts in those races. And they also, of course, make up 2 legs of that pick 5. I'm not going to say the early pick 5 tonight because it's the only pick 5 tonight because just 9 dashes on the card, but they do pack a powerful punch. And again, if you want to bet that pick 5, you get 1 chance at it tonight. And of course, that comes in race number 1. And as always, at about 8 minutes to post, Gary and I will break down our suggested wagers for that sequence that has that guaranteed pool of $5,000 and always a low takeout of just 15%. We'll see you then. 8 minutes until the opening dash here at Grand River Raceway on this marvelous Monday evening of harness racing action. And of course, starts off the pick five. I was going to say the early pick five. It's the only pick five tonight. Guaranteed pool $5,000, low takeout 15%, and always one of my favorite wagers here at the river. And getting kicked off tonight with 2-year-old trotting fillies in the OSS grassroots. So tricky waters right through the sequence and a couple of 2-year-old trotting events, races that sometimes can pan out unpredictably. But there we go. There's some of our equine athletes about to go to battle for a nice purse of $22,600. And there's my ticket on the screen right now. 1-6 here in the opening leg. I have loved Sue Ann since I saw her make her lifetime debut. The horse that's trained by Eric Nadeau, driven by part owner Louis Philippe Bois, and she winner in each of her first 2 starts in the grassroots. Then even tried the gold ranks recently and made a good of account of herself in there. 3-1 to the board. Would be surprised to see that price kind of plummet down, but pole position, not always the best spot for a young trotter to start from, and never raced on a half before. So I'm also using the 6, Flirty Dancer, who has a couple of wins over shorter surfaces, right? One at Sarnia, 5/8 mile surface, and Georgian Downs, same track size. So too deep for me here in the opening leg, 1-6. Both of them not taking the support I thought they would so far through the betting. Race 2, well, bit of a monkey wrench when the 4 Fashion Forward got scratched, so that made my ticket go sky high in the cost department, because I went from using just a couple to now using 4 horses, the 1, 2, 6, and 7 in race number 2. I do go to the 1, Control the Distance, as my top choice, liking the fact that she gets some class relief tonight, hoping she uses that pole position with Jay Harris as well to her advantage. 1, 2, 6, and 7 in race number 2. Race 3, the other division of that OSS grassroots for 2-year-old trotting fillies. West River Ivory likely to take a lot of support. Coming back down from the Golds, good post to work from. She's got early foot, but I didn't want to go it alone with her. I'm also using the 7, Abracadabra. Really intrigued by this filly. Thought she's raced really well for trainer Steve Boston's, and 2 top 2 finishes in 5 starts. I think she's going to be in it to win it tonight. And the 9, Birthday Money, trailing post and all. Just thinking if that one works out, the right kind of trip can be right there at the wire. So 3 deep there with a 3, 7, 9. Race 4, just the 2, Jules Diamond Eyes, double up candidate in my opinion. Strong winner last time. Not seeing much in there tonight that's going to be able to challenge her if she comes back to that effort. And thinking she goes out and wins as a 2-year-old against some older fillies in there. But I thought the effort last time was plenty good enough that she should be able to come right back and win again. So she's my single. And then race 5, the 2, 3, 4, and 5, leaving off the rail horse, Savoir du Hurrah, who was a winner last time at Flamborough. But you know what? This is a pretty good field, top to bottom, in my opinion, for a condition claimer for $7,000. Always been crazy in my top choice, but also using the 3 Hurricane King Carlo, the 4 HF Patrick off the claim, and the 5 Sunseeker, who's coming right back to race on short rest and race good to be second last time out. $19.20. We're breaking the bank to start the week off here, so we might not have much left for Wednesday and Friday if we don't cash, but 1 pick 5 tonight. Why not spend a little more than usual? Gary Guy, what you got for us?
Well, I didn't spend nearly as much as you, just $7.20, so kept $12 for a little bit later. But listen, early part, we're kind of along the same idea of how we built the card, the pick 5 card, but in the 5th race, that's where it saved money for me. Race 1, I have the 1 and 6 just as you do, but I added 8 her currency because I'm interested. This is one that raced really well middle of July, made a break in a grassroots, and yet finished second, beating a nose, and flashed a really big third panel, 27-1. It's post 8, but hey, you want to help yourself with a bit of a price. It's sitting at 11-1 right now, and probably not getting a lot of love because of the post and the pick 5. Race number 2. I have the 1, 2, and 6. You're right, with that scratch Fashion Forward, it changes things a lot. But, well, Control the Distance, Handbag of Cheesies, and True That. Don't have Cheddar Rose. And race number 3, the 3 and the 9. You don't have your 7 Abacadabra, but, well, I do have the other 2, the 3 and the 9. And 4th race, well, Jules Diamond's Eyes, yes, was really good. But I also want number 6, Ultimate Twix. So I've got a couple in there. And I was able to single up on Always Been Crazy, Maybe I'm crazy, but I just think Emily Leake sent this one out, fired up last time out, and I expect him to be fired up again from post position two. A single, always been crazy. $7.20.
Hey, I don't mind that single at all. My top choice in the race, and I agree. Pumped up winner last time. First start back in the barn of Emily Leake, and I think should be tough again. But I thought that there's some depth to that field, and maybe if they mix it up early, we might see a different winner come through there. But in any event, 12 combos for Gary and I both to hit the winner's circle tonight. And that's, of course, what I'm cheering for because I'm a team player. But you got to map out your winning wagers for this pick five sequence. Again, the pool's guaranteed at $5,000. Takeout's always a low 15%. And we'll come back in just a few moments to take a closer look at the opening dash, which is the first of two divisions, the OSS Grassroots for 2-year-old trotting fillies.
Field for race one on parade one. Sue Ann Louis Bois for Eric Nadeau. Number two is Kinder Hotblood, Matthew Bax for Bax Stable and Dave Hudson, and the Cavalier Stable and Gaelic Stable 2. Number three is Exciting Mia, Chris Christopher for Camila Christopher and Charlebos Christopher and Irving Holdings Incorporated. Number four is Massive Tattoo, Roger Mayotte, drives and trains for Just in Time Stable and REW Equine and Ben Mudry. And number five is Belvedere Jessica, Doug McNair for Shane Weber and Dr. Mike Veneri. Number six, Flirty Dancer, Scott Young for Paul Reed and Brian Kleinberg and Richard Byron Hauer, and Paul shares in ownership. And number seven is Karen's Dream, Bo Brown for Duncan Brewer and Randall Urquhart. Number eight is Her Currency, Bob McClure for Scott McEnany and Aristi for Sakis. And nine is Fitness Class, Rick Ziron, driving and training for Ziron Donato Stables and Howard Taylor and James Walker and Hut Racing. Let's get a look at this field. Well, Rob, 1, Sue Ann, 9-5 on the board. A couple of wins already in grassroots company. So Sue Ann certainly has the credentials and is getting the love in line with those credentials.
Yeah, I think she deserves it here, Gary, because you're right. Those two victories too. I remember watching both of them, and in each of them, her part owner Louis Philippe Bois was cool as a cucumber to the wire. I thought that she could have won by a much bigger margin in each of those efforts. I don't think she was asked too much, and she won by a head in both them. Or the two first two starts of her career, 8-1 and 4-1. I couldn't believe the price the second time out after how good she was in her lifetime debut. And then followed that up with a nice runner-up finish after being first over a long way. And then even most recently, I thought made a pretty good go of it at the OSS Gold level. Looks pretty smart on the track right now. For me, the big question was, how will she handle a half? Right, that's what we always kind of wonder about these ones that have never raced over the shorter track. But she looks good out there right now. Pole position not ideal in my opinion for one that hasn't raced on a half before. But again, what I've seen from her suggests she should be just fine, and I think 2-1's about the right price on her.
Number six, Flirty Dancer, is certainly one you could flirt with if you don't want to take that 9-5 price because that start at Sarnia in the grassroots pretty dominant at the finish.
Yeah, it was, and 25 cents the dollar, so she took all the money in there. She's 3 for 6 in her career so far with a third place finish as well. Her defeats, one was at the gold level, and the other one, two back. It was in a restricted race for grassroots starters, but the winner was our Eliza, and she's a horse that kind of can dabble in between the grassroots and the golds. She looks really good on the track as well. And I remember her left-handed view. You would remember it too. At Georgian Downs, Paul Reed, her trainer, drove her, and she was a real easy winner in that contest. And I think she'll be pretty good here at the River tonight. And Scott Young certainly has gotten along well with her. So 5-1, in my opinion, is a big overlay. I thought the 1 and 6 would take all the money here. Sue Ann is, but really, Flirty the answer to me is a big price right now at 5-1.
Number five, Belvedere Jessica is one you went to third. I didn't use this one, and well, the last line, especially at Sarnia, troublesome. You do see some nice flashes a little earlier back, but still overall hasn't quite put it together. Your thoughts, though?
Well, there's a big thought, and it's first time Doug McNair, right? I'm always gonna be more than happy to get behind one that Doug's jumping on for the first time, and especially here at the River. I mean, he loves driving here, and I think this one will probably get put into position off the gate. I think that's going to be the attempt, anyways. I mean, when you put Doug down, you're going to get every chance for the horse to win, and 9-1's a big number on this horse, I think, in my opinion. And I just thought that she's one that might have some more in the tank than what she's shown recently. And she took a lot of money for what it's worth in the early going, anyways. She was bet down to 2-1 when the betting opened. Now, again, there wasn't much in the pool at that time, but I do think she's one that we might see her step forward significantly tonight, and I would not leave her off the exotics.
Number eight, her currency is interesting. I used this one on the pick five. Might flash some gate speed from post eight, but that is, well, it's a troublesome thing to do. But it's young trotters. Maybe a couple go off stride, maybe get out easy. What do you think on with her currency, 11-1?
Price is monstrous. I mean, it really is. The problem I have is I love your theory there, and we always talk about young trotters. There might be gaps off the gate, places she can drop in if she goes forward. The problem I have is that break in the early going that she shows earlier on in the second start of her career. Just because I think if she attempts that here in the half, that might end up being the end result. But I mean, as a value player, I think she's worth every bit of 10-1. From what I've seen, she should be more than competitive against this group. And if she drew inside, I'd be all over in the top two. It's just that post eight, which has been very difficult to win from overall, but especially on the trot this season.
And then one that could be a sleeper in here is number two, Kinder Hunt Blood. Made a break last time up, but before that, did beat a grassroots. And you also see a couple of starts in the gold. So Matthew Bax, who's put up some numbers and certainly has the lineage with his father training as well. Kinder Hunt Blood. This is one that just might be a sleeper play.
Yeah, I'll never rule out a horse coming out of the Bax barn. And this is one, good post to work from. Has been racing predominantly in the golds. And like you mentioned, 1-for-1 in the grassroots. I guess for me, racing style doesn't look like it's going to be, one that matches up well here at Grand River. but maybe from post two we see some speed try to get created for her off the switch. And if it does, she can be competitive. I don't like the fact that she doesn't really show any gate speed. And I think it might be a long night for her if she gets away, 6th or 7th.
Just thought I'd mention her because obviously she has the credentials in the grassroots already having that win. Now that was from off the pace, and you're right, and half mile track is a different animal, but 7-1. Look, no value at number one, Sue Ann, but Louis Wa, Eric Nadeau, a horse that a filly that you have loved, and we'll see if that love is rewarded here. Won't be rewarded at a big price, but understandably, this is the one that is the favorite. 6-5, Sue Ann. They're taking up their position, Sue Ann and Kinder Hot Blood, and exciting me out of the outside in the center, Massive Tattoo and Belvedere Jessica, and then to the outside, Flirty Dancer, Karen's Dream, Her Currency, and Fitness Class from the second tier. It's a field of 9. It is race number 1. They are moving into position. It's a field of 9 for race number 1. They're into the stretch drive. Grassroots Trotter is gathering speed. 2-year-old trotting fillies at the start. Massive Tattoo, Exciting Mia, and then Belvedere Jessica and Flirty Dancer. Off stride is Sue Ann, and they work on around the turn. Belvedere Jessica, Massive Tattoo made a break in stride. Exciting Mia is racing second. Flirty Dancer third. Then it is Karen's Dream and Her Currency now, and Her Currency is going to inherit fourth now as a break in stride by Karen's Dream. Kinder Hot Blood is broken stride. So now it is Belvedere Jessica at 25-1, and Doug McNarrow's got the lead. Exciting Mia second, Flirty Dancer is third, and Her Currency is racing fourth in the early going. Then Fitness Class is fifth, and Karen's Dream is back in sixth. 29-4 opening quarter. Belvedere Jessica at 25-1 has the lead. Exciting Mia is excited to ride along in the pocket as they race up towards us, and then the Flirty Dancer now as they race up towards the half is going to come on the outside and is challenging and is moving up, and then Her Currency is within striking distance fourth, and then Fitness Class half of 101-1 and driving on the outside. Flirty Dancer wanting to take over from Belvedere Jessica and racing third. Exciting Mia, and then Her Currency is racing fourth. It is Flirty Dancer as they race their way on towards three quarters, and Flirty Dancer at 5-2 has the lead. Belvedere Jessica second. Her Currency to the outside third. Now is starting to roll, but has a lot of work to do because Flirty Dancer is starting to get away on them. Three quarters and 130. It is Flirty Dancer. Her Currency is second and is about 7 off the lead. Then Belvedere Jessica, Exciting Mia. It is Flirty Dancer and Her Currency as they turn from Exciting Mia third. And racing fourth is Belvedere Jessica, but Flirty Dancer is cruising. Flirty Dancer just rocking to the finish easily, winning it by about 10. Then Her Currency, Exciting Mia, and then Kinder Hot Blood. 159 flat. That was, Sue Ann going off stride. That changed things dramatically there.
Yeah, it certainly did, but take nothing away from Flirty Dancer. That's a monstrous performance, and I wonder what the over/under is going to be on the how many minutes it'll be before Scott Young messages me to say you picked against me again, Robbie. Because again, you know what? This is a horse that's been racing um, really well and had those good efforts, those victories over the shorter surface. So probably one that I should have went to on top. But hey, at least had for second. We'll use this one in the pick five going forward, so that'll help with getting the heavy favorite beat. But Sue Ann, like you said, Gary, just made that miscue off the gate. It looked like she was trying to maybe go forward and maintain her position at first. She got a little bit steppy. She got gathered up. And then about 5 or 6 strides off the gate, she got funky gated again and made that break in stride. So, it's the way it goes sometimes, right? For younger trotters when they're making their first start over the short track, she blows up at 1-2. But Flirty Dancer, decent result for the pick five at 5-2.
And Her Currency, past about 5/8, had a shot to try to reel in Flirty Dancer, but no go because Flirty Dancer was so good.
Yeah, she was. You know what? That was the main danger, right? Like the way the race played out, because even Her Currency kind of inherited a position, several positions because all the breakers, and she was kind of reeling that one in. but when push came to shove, I mean, Flirty Dancer was gone. I mean, much the best, and there it is, as we always say it, right? You get the big favorite off the ticket, second choice wins it, and there's some big numbers in behind. Her currency went off at 18-1. That's a big number on that horse. Decent second place effort there, and be interesting to see what these exotics pay, Gary.
And ends up 6-8-3-9, the top four on the board. And back in front of us is number 6, Flirty Dancer. 2-year-old looks like a Chippendale Bay filly, owned by Brian Kleinberg and Richard Beinhauer and Paul Reed. Paul's also the trainer. Scott Young, the winning driver. 4th win in 7 starts for Flirty Dancer, taking the first grassroots division. Scott Young had the answer in the first. The first race payouts, number 6, Flirty Dancer. 750, 550, and 390. 8, her currency, 1520 and 630. 3 exciting, Mia, 1130. $2 exact or 89.50. Dollar try, 240.30. 20 cents super, 705.24. Fans, here are two driver changes. Race number 7. 1. Shushideo. Sammy Filia. Sammy Filia will drive. And number 6, third time's the dream, will be Tyler Moore to drive. Tyler Moore driving number 6, third time's the dream. So in the 7th, Samuel Filia will drive the 1. Tyler Moore drives the 6. The first race over a finish from the top, 683 951 724. That's 683 951 724.
Flirty Dancer won by as much as she pleased in the opening dash at odds of 5-2. Big favorite goes down, so should be in store for a decent pick 5 payout. But if you're not rolling forward in that pick 5, or even if you are, you might as well still jump in on that early pick 4, starting right here in race number 2. Guaranteed pool $2,500, low takeout 15%. There will be 2 of these pick 4s tonight. One starting here in race 2, the next one starting in race 6. But in the first one, we've got just a 5-horse field to kick it off, and I'm actually going 4 deep. So I know who Gary will be cheering for here, but I've got the 1, 2, 6, and 7. Fashion Forward being scratched kind of hurt my ticket. Oh wait, did I? Yeah, we didn't update that one. That was my bad. Sorry, it's 1, 2, 6, and 7 because the 4 is scratched. My apologies, folks. 1, 2, 6, and 7 here in the opening leg. And then in race 3, the 3, 7, and 9, that's the second division of the OSS Grassroots for 2-year-old trotting fillies. And then in race 4, just single to the 2 Jules Diamond Eyes, who I think will go out there and double up tonight. And then the final leg, the 2, 3, 4, and 5. So keeping it the same as my early pick 5, same numbers. But of course, this ticket will be a little bit cheaper at $9.60 because we went too deep in the opening leg. So again, it says 1-4 on the screen because I didn't send my adjusted ticket to broadcast, so it's my bad. 1, 2, 6, and 7 here in the opening leg of this early pick 4, which gets started right here in race number 2. Again, the pool is guaranteed at $2,500. The takeout's always a low 15%. You got a minute or two to map out your winning wagers for this sequence. We'll be back in just a couple minutes to break down race number 2.
Field for the second. On parade one, control the distance. Jay Harris for Craig Barnes and Nurko Sokolovic. Number two is Handbag of Cheesies, Nick Boyd for Wilfred Perot and Joanne and Grant Kernhow. Number three, scratched, and four scratched. Five is Wasega, Brent McDonough for Les Posen. Number six, True That, Bo Brown for Tisha Symes and Jeffrey Webster. And number seven, Shed of Rose, Doug McNair for Ryan Stewart and Lisa Stewart. Field of five, race number two. Let's get a look at this field, and we'll start on the inside with one, Control the Distance, 7-1 on the board. Kind of interesting. You'll probably get a price on this one, and you know what? There's some form before those last four races, but the last four, she's not good. Down in class though.
Yeah, down in class to me is the key with control the distance. Last start, steady as we go is the winner. Storybook Bella finished second in that one. I mean, we'd take either one of those horses against this group. If you just go, like you said, further down the page, you see good efforts in non-winners of two at Georgian Downs, a second place first, a second place third, and back-to-back efforts there. And I think that class is more than comparable to what she's facing here tonight. She's got rail control. She does have early foot, and she gets paired back with Jay Harris. So I just thought that she looked like one that might try to go to the lead and run them off their feet in here. And 6-1. Wow, sign me up for that price right now.
Number two, Handbag of Cheesies. I like a Handbag of Cheesies, but not at 3-5. And besides, there are no hickory sticks.
No, and you've been fond of this horse too, right? This is one that you kind of jumped on before I was on her bandwagon a few starts ago, and I thought it was a good effort on that occasion. Came back to finish a good third to True That in her start two back, and then a third in the Prospect Series last time. 4-5 to me is just much too short. She looks fantastic on the track right now. We know that Nick Boyd gets along well with her. I think she's in with a big chance, but that price has to come up for me. I thought that she'd be more like 2-1 in here, maybe even a shade higher than that, 5-2. But yeah, in with a big chance. Just hate the price right now.
And then another cheese horse, number seven, Cheddar Rose. Well, she's not upset with the fact that there's a couple of scratches in here. Now gets to leave at a post five and did win a couple of races, 3 and 4 back.
Yeah, obviously the scratches help her out tremendously, right? Still outermost post in the contest, but she gets down to the post five, right? It's a little more palatable, a little easier to try to get forwardly placed. And we saw it in race one, like I said, right? I was liking Belvedere Jessica and that one at a price just because I knew Doug would put her in the right spot. She couldn't deliver, but I think we'll see the same for Cheddar Rose, a horse that does have tactical speed. And if she doesn't go forward off the switch, I mean, the worst she can get away is fifth in here, and she's showing more than enough to be competitive against this group. And like I said, I'll always love it when I see Doug McNair jump aboard, especially here at the River. He puts horses in positions to win, and the problem for me right now is the price as well, 2-1. But I think obviously the scratch of the four fashion forward, Gary, really kind of changed the complete complexion of this race because she was going to go off as a heavy favorite, and there'd be value across the board at that. Now we're not seeing that.
So with that scratch, I wound up with number six, True That is my top pick, your fourth one. And look, this is one that's got only one win in 22 starts, but that win was 2 races ago. We were both aboard during that win, and True That, well, raced at Flamborough last race. Run Baby was really good in that one.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad third, right? At 65 cents to the dollar, she did disappoint. But I guess when you look at it and say, okay, well, she was 65 cents to the dollar, numbers of two at Flamborough Downs. I mean, that's obviously going to be, comparable to this group. The win was a good one. I mean, I thought she raced really well. It was an exciting race too, with her scoring by 3/4 of a length. And I still remember on Industry Day, you saw her release Premier Delight to the lead, and Bo Brown thought he was going to be able to come right back around, and Jeff Hunt said, "Not so fast," and put him back in the pocket when she was just 25 cents to the dollar. So she's been racing really well as of late. I mean, there's not really a bad effort in her last five. So I could see her coming back out and racing, good again tonight. 5-2 is probably about the right price as well. She was one that I thought would take a lot of support in here and maybe be the second choice to fashion forward. That maybe was why I was kind of shying away from her. But right now at 2-1, now co-favorite with Cheddar Rose.
And you took 4 out of 5 in your pick five. The one you left off was 5 with Sega. It's actually getting a lot of action.
Yeah, it's what Wasaga's a horse that we know's got early foot off the gate. She's got a little bit of trouble finishing her miles, right? She's 0 for 9 of the season and just has one win over the last 2 years of racing. But 7-2, yeah, she's taking steady support throughout. I'm not on her bandwagon tonight, but I know you are only because it would bust me out of the pick five, and it's the only horse I didn't use.
Well, no, I have to cheer for myself first. Then, if I'm out, then I'll pick against you, for that fun. But first, I got to ride my own ponies here, and that is number 6, True That, at 2-1, and yours, Control the Distance, much nicer price of 6-1. It's Control the Distance and Handbag of Cheesies on the inside with Sega. In the center to the outside, True That, and Cheddar Rose. It's a field of 5 for race number 2. And the field for the second race is at the start of the rough, and it is Handbag of Cheesies leaving with Sega. Control the Distance on the inside, then True That, and Cheddar Rose is relaxed away, trailing the field. Control the Distance has the lead. Handbag of Cheesies now is going to move on into the pocket, and then Sega is racing third. True That is fourth, and then Cheddar Rose as they race their way on to the opening quarter, and Control the Distance at 5-1 has the lead. Handbag of Cheesies right there munching along in second. Sega is in mid-pack third in front of True That, and Cheddar Rose is trailing the field. 28-2 is the opening quarter, and they work on around the turn and Control the Distance, and Jay Harris has control of this one right now with Handbag of Cheesies and Nick Boyd in the pocket. Sega, Brett McDonald is racing position to third and angles to the outside. Sega now is surfing up closer, and then True That and Bo Brown follows Brett McDonald to the outside, and then it is Cheddar Rose and Duck McNair trailing the field. 58-3 halftime, 30-1 second panel, and it is still Control the Distance. Handbag of Cheesies on the inside Sega. True That still spotted second over, and Cheddar Rose on the inside. Control the Distance now to the outside Sega surfing a little closer. Handbag of Cheesies and True That and Cheddar Rose, but it is still Control the Distance, and Jay Harris hasn't moved a muscle just yet. And now there is a tap to drive on, and now True That's going to roll out 3 wide, and True That is truly moving now. 3/4, 128-1, and True That looking to dial in Control the Distance, and on the inside Handbag of Cheesy then Sega and Cheddar Rose. Now is flying late as they turn for home. It is True That now on even terms with Control the Distance and True That, but Cheddar Rose to the outside, and Cheddar Rose is flying on the outside. Cheddar Rose is going to go on by all of them. Then True That and Control the Distance. Handbag of Cheesies 158-1. Cheddar Rose sat back early but wasn't sitting back when it mattered most, Rob.
No, not at all. It's kind of what I said, right? I mean, I thought she might try to go forward off the gate, but what's the worst thing that happens if you can't? You get away fifth in a 5-horse field. And the thing that's interesting about this is that she's flying late here. Doug McNair has her really rolling in the late stages, and the horse that I picked on top, I mean, I could see she was pretty much done on the turn for home, but she tried to put that invisible shield up. She really did. She looked like she might try to fight to the wire there, but she has to end up finishing for third. That's the one, Control the Distance, and your pick, True That. Off a perfect second over trip, raced well to be second, but there was no denying Cheddar Rose with Doug McNair today.
Yeah, and Manic Monday had 7-1-6 as the top three. It comes 7-6-1, but certainly it was a race when they turned for home between Cheddar Rose and True That. And True That looked good, but Cheddar Rose had more.
Oh, she did. Yeah, you could see like she was kind of stuck on the wheel for a bit there. As soon as she got clearance, she was rolling right on by. And how about that, Manic Monday? Kicking our butts in the early stages here with a nice little exactor and trifecta.
Yeah, Cheddar Rose at 3-2. It won't help the pick five, but at least, you know what? It'll help that you're still alive because I'm not.
Well, there you go, right? Yeah, it's always good to still be alive. And you know what? I think that Cheddar Rose probably a bigger number horizontally than she was vertically, only because 3-1 morning line. And again, I think that True That would have been the favorite on here in the pick five and the maybe even the pick four. But I guess we'll see. But again, nice to be alive still.
It's a 7-6-1-2 top four. Back in front of us is number 7, Cheddar Rose, a 3-year-old better than Cheddar Bay filly owned by Lisa Stewart, trained by Ryan Stewart. And the winning drive goes to Doug McNair. It's the 4th win this year in Lifetime. Cheddar Rose, 158-1. The second race payout, 7 Cheddar Rose, $5, 330, 240. 6 True That, $3, 210. 1 Control the Distance, 290. Double of 6 and 7, 28.40. $2 exactor, 13.90. Dollar try, 43.20. Dollar super, 61.25. Fans note in race number 9, driver change, 5 Adore Him, Jay Harris. That's race 9, 5 Adore Him, Jay Harris will drive. The second race over a finish from the top is a 3-4, then double scratch 5-2-1. That's 3-4 scratch scratch 5-2-1 on the bottom. The field for race number 3 is on parade. One Gaming Queen, Travis Henry for Blake McIntosh and Hut Racing. There is number 3, West River Ivory, Paul McDonnell for Haley McDonald. Number 4 is Fast Resolution, Todd Ratchford for Matthew Bax and Robert LeBlanc, and 1.6 Racing and William Cribbs. Number 5, One Night in Paris, Sean Stacy for himself. Number 6, She Trots a Lot, Anthony Hunt for Paul Walker and Keith Coulter. 7 is Happy Cadabra, Doug McNair for Steve Boston's and Richard Thompson and Derek Reed and ECS Racing. 8 is T Lake, Rick Ziron drives and trains and partners with James Walker and Dean Lockhart and Jeffrey Rock. And 9 is Birthday Money, Matthew Bax for Backstable and Marshall Bax. Note that absent from the parade was Sue Damsel, Sealster, Brent McDonough for Richard Murrow and Gaston Blay. Field of 9, race number 3, the second grassroots division. Number 3, West River Ivory, certainly has been good, but, well, I don't think towers over this field. 7-5 on the board. Well, one thing is, hasn't tasted victory yet.
No, she's still 0 for 6, Gary, but those 5 on the board finishes. And last time in the golds, I mean, it's against Willie's home run. Now, granted, she was more than 6 lengths in arrears to that winner at the wire, but made up good ground from a long way out of it in the early going. And right now she's sitting at her morning line at 7-5. You know, I'll be honest, I put her on top because I thought she had a post edge and just kind of thinking that she's been close enough and knocking at the door. This might be where she steps through, but yeah, the price is pretty short. I thought that maybe that was a little bit on the low side in the morning line, but right now it's holding true at 7-5. So I do think she can establish herself as the one to beat here. Now even money. I mean that's a pretty short price to take. A tough pill to swallow, as we say, especially in a 2-year-old filly trotting event.
Number 7, Abby Cadabra, definitely shows some nice positives, but the problem is also shows a couple of key negatives.
Yeah, she does. And this one here should mention that Ontario Racing tip from the pros, Garnet Barnsdale. He made this one his spot play of the night. Abby Cadabra, I think he made his spot play at Hiawatha on September 2nd as well, but she made a break in stride as the 9-5 favorite. I think the key for her, and Garnet said this as well in his piece about her, is that you get Doug McNair back in the bike, right? You see a couple of breaks in her last 4. Neither one of those efforts had Doug aboard. He did guide her to a very nice victory, 2 back in Elmer's, one at Mohawk Park, and it was only beat by 3/4 of length to Kinder Hot Blood before that with Doug and the Selkie as well. So I think that's the key with her, getting Doug back in the bike. Post 7, obviously not the best place to be, but she's a horse that's shown she can take a lot of air. So I think if she goes an overland trip, she can handle it. 5-1's a good price, and right now, if I was betting one to win, I'd be siding with her at 5-1 over West River Ivory at 4-5.
That's such an interesting point that she hasn't run when Doug's been driving her, and that the other 2 times that he didn't, she made breaks. So we'll see if that holds up, and then she'd be a nice play at 9-2. Number 9, Birthday Money, 9-2. Well, it's the trailer post for a young trotter.
Yeah, trailer post young trotter. We know we like to kind of stay away from those spots, even the rail as well. But we'll get to Gaming Queen in a moment. That one's kind of got pole position and has done okay from that spot before at Mohawk Park. Anyways, gotten away well. But the 9 Birthday Money. I mean, 3 wins in her last four, and certainly had an excuse two back as well. Just to me, it came down to that trailing post. If her nose is on the gate with a reasonable post position, I would have had to pick much higher. Like three or five in her career, almost 35,000 made. Got a win with Matt back, aboard or trainers aboard again today. It just really came down to that starting spot, but I couldn't leave her off multiple tickets. I think she's in with a big chance.
And then all of a sudden, your internet connection went a little soft, but it sounds like it might be back if you have time for a thought on one Gaming Queen.
I took them off.
Well, I can mention that Gaming Queen has 4 third-place finishes and 8 starts, so definitely has to be considered. And it comes in off of a third in a grassroots at Sarnia. So Gaming Queen on the inside, it's 5-1 on the board. Rob will be getting out the screwdriver and fixing up that internet connection to be with us right after this third race, probably. Second race, second grassroots division, race number 3. Field of 9 trotters, Gaming Queen, Damsel Sealster, West River Ivory on the inside. In the center, Fast Resolution and One Night in Paris to the outside. She trots a lot, Abby Cadabra and T Lake, and the second tier, Birthday Money. It's a field of 9 for the third, the second grassroots division. 2-year-old trotting fillies gathering speed. They're at the start and they're off. West River Ivory, Gaming Queen. She trots a lot down the center of the track. And One Night in Paris and Abby Cadabra moving smoothly around the turn. Right now she trots a lot. And Gaming Queen dueling. Gaming Queen with the inside advantage. And she trots a lot. And then to the outside, Abby Cadabra still pressing on. 3 wide. Abby Cadabra at 6-1 is looking to drive up. And Fast Resolution went off stride. Abby Cadabra at 6-1's going to clear to the front. Gaming Queen will race the pocket. She trots a lot third. West River Ivory is fourth in the early action. Then One Night in Paris, 29-2 is the opening quarter. Then it is back to Birthday Money, Damsel Sealster, and T Lake. Abby Cadabra at 6-1 has the front as they work their way off the turn and they head on towards us. Gaming Queen is right there in a good spot, and she trots a lot on the inside third. West River Ivory now is going to come to the outside and move up. West River Ivory and Paul McDonnell quickly surging up to challenge Abby Cadabra. Gaming Queen is third. 1 minute 3/5 the halftime. Now Birthday Money has moved into the picture and is getting up a little bit closer. Second over and now is taken over fourth. She trots a lot as fifth of the inside. Then Damsel Sealter, One Night in Paris and T Lake on down the back stretch for Abby Cadabra. West River Ivory on the outside now is challenging gamely. West River Ivory, couple light taps from Paul McDonnell and is going to press on and grab the lead. And it is going to be West River Ivory to lead by about a length and 3/4 by 3/4 at 1:30. Abby Cadabra racing second, and then third is Birthday Money. Gaming Queen is fourth, and then Damsel Sealster. West River Ivory as they turn for home. Abby Cadabra hasn't thrown in the towel, but West River Ivory still looks to have plenty in reserve as they come on down the stretch drive. West River Ivory and up the inside Abby Cadabra, but West River Ivory is just smooth at the finish. And then Abby Cadabra, that it looked like Birthday Money and Gaming Queen, 159-3, and West River Ivory definitely was the best one in there.
Yeah, she certainly won with ease there, Gary. And you know what? I thought that Abby Cadabra, even though she got gassed early on, I thought that she might be able to maybe fend her off a little bit further. But Paul McDonnell, when he kind of put this one into gear in the first over position, I mean, she tried to right past, and then even when Abby Cadabra kind of tightened back in again, it was just because Paul was kind of letting her kind of do her own thing on the engine. And when he asked her at the end there, she opened up like a good thing. You can see she wins with ease here.
Yeah, it certainly was very impressive, and she's got the look of one that you're going to have to keep an eye on into the future, and probably will see this one trying the gold again because third in that gold last time out, probably wants to tackle that level again.
I would think so. Yeah, we'll probably see her take another crack at them. Abby Cadabra, I thought raced really well to be second, and Birthday Money a little bit steppy on that final turn there. Thinking that she raced pretty good, all things considered, to be third.
And note the inquiry sign has gone up pertaining to 9 Birthday Money. racing around the first turn, a possible pylon violation. And also, Gaming Queen, we said you got to use Gaming Queen on the ticket inside post, and you used this one for fourth and did round it out.
Yeah, it was again decent trip for Gaming Queen. Kind of logical though, right? Those four horses ended up with the four favorites, pretty much in order, Gary. So won't have too sexy a payouts here for the Trier Super, but we'll take it.
That's better than throwing the ticket on the floor.
That's right.
Mile of 159 and 3 for West River Ivory. And coming back in front of us, Paul McDonnell, West River Ivory, 2-year-old Wheeling and Dealing Bay filly, owned by Haley McDonald. Paul McDonnell is also the trainer. First win for West River Ivory, 159 and 3. Fans note number 9, Birthday Money, was determined to have gone inside of 2 consecutive pylons and was triple lapped on at the finish, so will be placed from 3rd back to 6th. Note the new top 4 will be 3712. That's 3712. The third race payout, 3 West River Ivory, 260, 230, 210, 7 Abacadabra, 440 and 410, 1 Gaming Queen, 350. $2 exactor, 21.80. Dollar try, 30.15. Dollar super, 187.75. The third race, so we're finished from the top down. Fourth place third, 5 place 4, 197, 6 place 5, then 2-8, 3 place 6. Once again from the top down, after the placing, 341, 975, 286. Field 4, race number 4 on Parade 1. Cabana Nana, Paul Davies for Nicole Davies. Number 2, Jules Diamond Eyes, Daryl Thiessen for Lori LePage and Rebecca Williamson. Number 3 is Twin B Nancy's Wish, Sean Stacy for Mark Stacy and Natasha Stacy and Bertrand Gillespie. Number 5 is Shea Sealster, Todd Ratchford drives and trains and owns. And number 6, Ultimate Twix, Scott Quiller, Dean Nixon, and Madonna Morrison. Field of 5 for race number 4. And Rob, you see the rain coming down, but I'll tell you right now, we were just looking at the radar, and the rain's going to let up in about 10 minutes. So not only are we talking horses, but Chief Meteorologist Gary Guy telling you the rain's going to stop before 8 o'clock.
I like now that you're dabbling into being a weatherman as well. It's great to see, Gary.
Well, I got to have a backup plan because I think this horse racing thing the gig might be up soon because people are starting to want a little more competence, and so then I'll be done. But listen, you know who's really competent? Jules Diamond Eyes. That last race was really good.
I thought it was fantastic, and what a kind of roller coaster of an odds board this has been for Jules Diamond Eyes. She started off around this price. She took all kinds of action to go down to the hefty favorite at 1-9, now back up to 8-5. I thought she's going to be odds on in here all day long. I thought she'd be maybe 1-5 just because of how good she raced last time out, and couldn't really see one that I thought would be able to go with her if she replicates that effort, even though she is a 2-year-old against some older fillies in here. But it was good enough for me to say this looks like a prime opportunity for her to double up.
Number 6, Ultimate Twix, is one that we both think is the one that if Jules Diamond Eyes doesn't get the job done, then we could go there. Now it'll be post position 5, and Dean Nixon. This will be now the 4th start for Dean Nixon, and he's helped this one.
Yeah, it's definitely helped this one along. I thought we'd see more. August 21st here at the River when ended up finishing 4th, got beat by a wide margin to Well Assessed. Then last time out, Leamington kind of got things her own way on the engine before settling for 3rd as the even money favorite. So I couldn't get there ahead of the favorite here, Jules Diamond Eyes, and just thought of that last effort she'd be tough to catch in here. But Ultimate Twix is one that is an improving type, and I respect the Barnadine Nixon and think that he'll get this one in top flight soon enough, and maybe it'll be this evening, but I still think she'll have her work cut out for her.
And I should say it's the 3rd start for Dean Nixon. See, already I'm thinking more about the weather career. Ultimate Twix and Scotty Coulter 3-1. Number 5, Shea Steelster. Well, recent form not great. Hasn't made a top 3 finish yet, but actually showed a lot of fight in the early going last race.
Yeah, she did. And if you remember, she took a lot of action early on in the betting cycle of that contest. She had post 7. I didn't really see where that action was coming from based on previous efforts, but she got put into play off the gate. She tried to blast off the wings of the gate, ended up 3 wide of the first turn, then parked out a long way before settling for 5th. Now she got beat more than 10 lengths to the winner, Jules Diamond Eyes, so they weren't even really in the same time zone at the end of it. But I still thought it was a big step in the right direction. And now you get a horse at post 7 last time in that latest effort where she showed more, and now she gets to work from post 4 and obviously shown that she can utilize some tactical speed when push comes to shove. So maybe we see that from her tonight again. I was liking the price earlier. 9-2, I think that's a little short in my opinion, even though better post to work from, maybe a field without as much depth, but I still think 9-2 is a little too short on her.
And I think we got to go next to number 3, Twin B Nancy's Wish, only because, well, look at the back half, and it's a 1st start, Sean Stacy.
Yeah, we never want to ignore horses coming, for Sean Stacy. We see that he typically has, a barn full of youngsters. And the one thing we've noted at the River here with his is that they kind of step forward significantly start to start. Now, I thought that this is one I'd want to wait on, kind of watch first time out. He calls his own number in the bike tonight. It's a $32,000 yearling purchase. I think she's in with a chance. But for me, more so just a play underneath somewhere in the exotics.
And sometimes if the track starts to get off a little bit, it also, evens out the playing field. And if you got a first starter from Sean Stacy sitting at 8-1, it might be worth a stab because Jewel's Diamond Eyes, even money in the board, and now 9-1 on Twin B. Nancy's Wish. But a field of 5, Cabana Nana, Jewel's Diamond Eyes on the inside, in the center, and now we have the lights are flashing, and I think that means recall. Fans note the starting gate. We are changing vehicles as the track has gotten just a bit less grip for the starting gate, so going to the one that's got a little more grab. Once again, the gate is rolling for race number 4. The 4th race on a Monday night at Grand River Raceway. Take 2. It's a field of 5 for the 4th race. Maiden pacing fillies and mares. Into the stretch drive, gathering speed. Field 4, race number 4. He's at the start of the round. Jules Diamond Eyes and Ultimate Twix on the outside. Cabana Nana, Twin Bee Nancy's Wish, and Shea Sealster. Field of 5 as they work on around the turn. Jules Diamond Eyes has got the lead. Ultimate Twix is on the outside second. Cabana Nana third. Then a gap of a couple. Twin Bee Nancy's Wish, and Shea Sealster is back trailing the field as they race their way on to the opening quarter. Ultimate Twix and Scotty Coulter's got the lead. Jules Diamond Eyes is going to come back around now, and Jules Diamond Eyes is going to reclaim the front. Ultimate Twix is second, Cabana Nana third. Then it is Twin Bee Nancy's Wish and Shea Sealster. And as they work around the turn, Jules Diamond Eyes 1-9 favorite, 28-4 opening quarter. Ultimate Twix is second. Cabana Nana third, Twin Bee Nancy's Wish, and as they race off the turn, trailing the field is Cabana Nana, rather on the outside is Shea Sealster, and the halftime was recorded in 59-3. Jules Diamond Eyes has got the front. Ultimate Twix is right there studying Jules Diamond Eyes from the pocket. Cabana Nana's on the inside third, then Twin Bee Nancy's Wish and Shea Sealster, and on down the backstretch they go. Jules Diamond Eyes is looking sharp on the lead, racing second. Ultimate Twix trying to stay close and hope for a late rally. Cabana Nana is third. Then Twin Bee Nancy's Wish is racing fourth. And then fifth is Shea Sealster. And by 3/4, 129-3. And Jules Diamond Eyes now leading a length and 3/4. And racing second, Ultimate Twix in third. Cabana Nana, 3/4, 129-3. They reach for the top of the stretch. Jules Diamond Eyes leads a couple of lengths. Ultimate Twix and Cabana Nana on down the stretch, and Jules Diamond Eyes continues on. Couple little love taps there at the finish, but will win it comfortably. Ultimate Twix second, Cabana Nana third, and Shea Sealster fourth. 159-4. Jules Diamond Eyes. Well, we thought she was good last week, and well, we were right, and she was good again this week.
Yeah, she was great, Gary. You know, nice double up victory there for Jules Diamond Eyes, and love what Daryl Thiessen did there. Right, he made sure he kind of just drove out to the lead, and then let Ultimate Twist come around, but removed right away. Right, you don't want to stay inside in the pocket on a horse that's 1-9 that's coming off a victory like she was doing, and you can see here, like you said, easy as can be, a couple of love taps, but much the best winner here. Jules Diamond Eyes, 159-4. 28-4 opening quarter too, right? So that was good to see a little bit of action in the early stages, but none in the late stages. Much the best.
Yeah, and Jules Diamond Eyes, you could just watch just how comfortable Daryl Thiessen was, since you knew that there was still lots left. Just those love taps are just don't fall asleep, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you don't want her kind of waiting on Ultimate Twix or a rival to come at her late. Not that anyone was, but yeah, just kind of keep her on the task at hand there. But yeah, she was good to go, and I've actually thought she's raced well in every single one of her starts so far. A couple of fourths of beginner career, and then since then, two trips to the winner's circle in this class.
And Ultimate Twix is the one that everybody was going to for second, and certainly raced very creditably. That was a solid effort. It wasn't going to beat Jules Diamond Eyes ultimately, but it was a very good outing.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, nice speed off the gate too. Love to see that. Right, she did move in a spot with a scratch to post 5, but she blasted off the wings of the gate. Showed that she's got a nice early foot, and then ended up getting a pocket trip behind the favorite and held her position. So nothing wrong with that.
Well, it's a 2-6-1-5 top 4. Heavy favorite Jules Diamond Eyes lives up to that billing and is coming back in front of us. Jules Diamond Eyes is a 2-year-old better than Cheddar Bay filly, owned by Rebecca Williamson. Trained by Lori LePage. Daryl Thiessen is the winning driver. Second win, 2 in a row for Jules Diamond Eyes, second lifetime. The fourth race payouts: 2 Jules Diamond Eyes, 230, 210, 210. 6 Ultimate Twix, 270, 210. 1 Cabana Nana, 210. $2 Exactor, 460. $1 Try, 490. $1 Super, $9. Fourth race. Order of finish from the top: 315, scratch 42. That's 315, scratch 42. Field for the fifth race on parade. 1, Savoie du Roi. Ron DeRoche for Mike Whiteniowski and Tara Isman and Garrett Isman. Number 2 has always been crazy. Preston Shaw for Emily Leake. 3 is Hurricane King Carlo, Colin Keller for Cameron McQueen and Paige Vandelpeepers. 4 is H.F. Patrick, Travis Henry for Lindsay Kerr and Jeffrey Mayhew. 5 is Sunseeker, Jay Harris for Jim Stewart and Gregory Mason. Number 6, Delightful Feeling, Daryl Thiessen for Kyle Bossens and Steve Colvin. Number 7 is Old Chuck, Brett McDonough for Darrell Laver and Rick Meyer. Field of 7, race number 5, the Guelph Wellington Men's Club pace. And let's look at this field. Always been crazy. Man, 4-1. That's crazy that you could get 4-1. I don't think it'll hold there, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be surprised, even though, you know what, I was a little bit shocked to see the pick five payout on that one as well, because it's significantly higher than the one. And I did think that Always Been Crazy would be the favorite in here because it was a monstrous effort last time, Gary. And I thought, second start now back in the Barn of Emily League, this horse merits respect. And I think the game plan's got to be the same, doesn't it? Go out to the lead and try to chop things out on the engine. And again, I think that will be tough to catch and come back with that effort last time. 3-1. Big price in my opinion as well. I thought that he'd be the favorite in here.
And certainly racing for a barn that's had a lot of success, Always Been Crazy, has the gate speed to take advantage of post position 2. Number 4, H.F. Patrick. Well, also a successful barn, that of Lindsay Kerr. And H.F. Patrick gets a better post than last time out.
Yeah, I think that's something that might really work in his favor because I thought this one was racing really well. That effort against Malvolio, I thought he was a winner at every point. First over, kind of grinding away at that one. Couldn't get past, missed by a head at the wire. Last time Overland Journey before finishing fifth, and against doing without the Lakers and Malvolio again, nearly 45-1. Now more reasonable post position and racing off the claim for Lindsay Kerr. So I thought that H.F. Patrick deserves some respect in here anyways. And 8-1, he's not getting it. So there's some serious value on him. And I think he might be able to be in the mix throughout.
Number 5, Sunseeker. That missing line is second beat in 3/4, 156-4. Sunseeker gave a strong showing last time out. Not quite good enough, but the one that beat him was certainly solid.
Yeah, and that was one that I thought went off at a real nice price in there as well, all things considered, because I thought he was coming into a real good one. And Sunseeker has been doing nothing wrong as of late, really. You've got DNF in a no contest, obviously, a few starts ago, but other than that, been hitting the board with frequency, and really should be more than competitive against this group. 9-2 in the board, another one that's, if that's the direction you want to go in, you can't go wrong at that kind of a price. Again, still kind of surprised the way the odds board's been shaking out.
Yeah, and then also let's take a quick thought about number 3, Hurricane King Carlo, because this is one that's had some good starts and, also some that weren't very good at all. But pops up every once in a while with a really nice start and raced really well here 2 races ago. Second 2, Always Been Crazy.
Yeah, and he can be a speedster, right? But that's the thing about this for me is I have a hard time, going, seeing 9-5 on one and 3-1 on the other because he had a fair shot at Always Been Crazy in that effort and couldn't really get near him. Still a length away at the wire. Always Been Crazy, I thought was an easy winner on that occasion. Hurricane King Carlos come back since then and finished a decent third at Clinton. But again, to me, if the odds stay the way they are right now, in my opinion, the wrong horse is favored. I think the favoritism should shift to Always Been Crazy, which it might still happen before post time.
And look, Savoie du Hurrah is down now at 3-1. Took a lot of money. Claim is in. That last start, the missing line, was parked every step of the way and winning. But I didn't think it was a particularly strong group. Beat Master Fencer. Gascoigne Sunday was okay, but still, I think people might be overreacting to winning parked every step.
Yeah, definite overreactions can happen in harness racing. Happens a lot when you're betting on the NFL as well. The thing for me was, Gary, is that I thought that we would see maybe that one get overbet a little bit off that victory, even though it was a line that was to be announced. And we're not seeing that vertically in the race, but we are in the pick five. Overwhelming favorite in the pick five, just $19.92 for a 20-cent ticket, whereas Always Been Crazy is $34.90. So there's a big discrepancy there. And that one is the favorite right now in that multi-leg wager in the will pay. So again, now we see the odds come down to 2-1. I thought it was a nice effort and victory, but I thought these were significantly tougher. I really thought the inside five here, I think it's a real strong group for the class, to be perfectly honest. And at 3-1, I'd be staying with Always Been Crazy all day long.
And if you're talking about NFL regrets, I mean, the New York Jets, well, there's a talk about an overreaction.
Well, I mean, we'll see. I mean, listen, I'm cheering for the Bills because I'll cheer for you and Garnet Barnsdale. In a proximity, my second favorite team's always the Bills. But who knows, right? Aaron Rodgers might have some magic in that arm of his tonight.
Well, I only have one thing to say to all of that, and if I had it queued up, I'd be saying it right now.
Listen, I love the loyalty.
That's what I got to say to that comment. But listen, this fifth race, Guelph and Wellington Men's Club Pace, and they're just a slight delay to get started. Always Been Crazy. Sits at 7. I think this is the best value of the night. Look, I took this one as my key in the pick five. I mean, the pick five doesn't really matter, but it tells you what I think of Always Been Crazy.
Yeah, I agree. I think that if I was to say a horse that is providing the best value of the card so far, it's Always Been Crazy at 7-2 here. I thought 2-1 at most.
Well, right now is holding at 7-2 as the money is in on Savoie du Hurrah. And certainly that was a good start at Flamborough Downs last time out, but getting a lot of action at 9-5. Always Been Crazy 3-1. The money is spread fairly evenly on the inside 5. Savoie du Hurrah, Always Been Crazy on the inside. In the center, Hurricane King Carlo, HF Patrick, Sunseeker to the outside. Delightful Feeling at Old Chuck. It's a field of 7, race number 5. Top of the stretch. Here they come. It's a field of 7-4, race number 5, and they're at the start of the round. It Always Been Crazy is going to blast out with Hurricane King Carlo. Savoie du Hurrah on the inside is third away. Then HF Patrick and Sunseeker. Then back to Old Chuck and Delightful Feeling. Always Been Crazy has the lead into the backstretch, and Hurricane King Carlo is able to storm out well and take second. Savoie du Hurrah third. Then it is HF Patrick and Sunseeker and Old Chuck and Delightful Feeling. Always Been Crazy at 7-2 has the lead for Preston Shaw. Hurricane King Carlo is in a good spot, riding along in the pocket off that 28-2 opening quarter. They race on around the turn. Savoie du Hurrah is third and is going to come to the outside and grind up first over and is 4-5 of the board. HF Patrick is racing fourth. Then Sunseeker back to Old Chuck and Delightful Feeling, and they race their way off the turn. Always Been Crazy on the outside. Savoie du Hurrah applying first up pressure. Hurricane King Carlo inside third. Then HF Patrick on the outside. Sunseeker to the inside is Old Chuck, and then back to Delightful Feeling and Always Been Crazy, and to the outside Savoie du Hurrah. Always Been Crazy leads it still a length and a half as they race their way into the backstretch. Savoie du Hurrah is second. Hurricane King Carlo third. HF Patrick, Old Chuck, and now from the backfield Sunseeker is coming, and they race on to 3/4. Always Been Crazy. Savoie du Hurrah hasn't gone away and is moving right up alongside Always Been Crazy. Always Been Crazy, and Preston Shaw is still sitting calm in the bike, but might have to go to work now because Savoie du Hurrah is able to go on and grab a lead of about a head. And now Always Been Crazy and Preston Shaw trying to fight back on the inside. Savoie du Hurrah, Always Been Crazy, and Hurricane King Carlo on down the stretch. Round they come. Always Been Crazy. Savoie du Hurrah. Savoie du Hurrah is going to drive away and win it 4-5 on the board. Always Been Crazy second, then Hurricane King Carlo third, and HF Patrick fourth, 157-2. And well, Savoie du Hurrah, a little bit of humble pie being served to the announcer as Savoie du Hurrah lived up to that heavy billing.
No, and me as well, Gary, because listen, I Yeah, well, yeah, Manic Monday's got this one on top, but for yours truly, I kind of left this one off my top four and out of the pick five, and I just thought that maybe, this was a much tougher spot, and when Ryan DeRoche went to the stick a little bit early too in this one, and I thought that always been crazy. He had the measure of Savoie du Hurrah on the backside, but not the case. This one just kept grinding away, and was a strong winner in the first over position, and he paced away with ease on the end of it, getting claimed out of this one as well. Crushed in the pick five wager, and then crushed late in this race as well. Bet down to the 4-5 favorite.
And you certainly have to hand it to him because it wasn't like the race was easy for him to take. I mean, everything worked out properly for Always Been Crazy except for the finish.
Yeah, exactly. I still thought that he might try to battle back on the final turn there, but you could see he was just overpowered. He got a second quarter breather, and then when this one came first up, I thought there was a bit of urging there, and it looked like to me like the leader had rebuffed him, but he just would not be denied, and in the end was the easiest kind of winner.
Well, the cool thing about harness racing, you make an opinion, you have a thought, and then you watch the race and realize, oops, I guess I was wrong.
Yeah, and then you do one more thing: is turn the page.
Turn the page. Well, and if you miss out on a 4-5 winner, you can turn the page fairly easily. But certainly, I was wrong about Savoie du Hurrah. He was really good. It's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 7 top five in Savoie du Hurrah. 5-year-old Sunshine Beach Bay Gelding, owned by Tara Isman and Garrett Isman and Mike Whiteniowski. Mike Whiteniowski is the trainer. Ryan DeRoche, Baby Shark with the winning drive. It's the fourth win this year and sixth lifetime for Savoie du Hurrah.
Why don't you have Baby Shark playing?
The fifth race payouts: 1, Savoie du Hurrah, 380, 250, 220. 2, Always Been Crazy, 320, 260. 3, Hurricane King Carlo, 350. The $2 exactor, $12.80. Dollar try, 16.30. Dollar pick three, 5.65. Dollar win four, 18.90. Dollar pick five, 99.60, and the dollar high five, 308.35. The fifth race, order finished in the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 60 in F5. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 60 in F5. And the claim of Savoie du Hurrah. New trainer, Malik Smith.
Savoir du Hurrah, a winner in race number 5, a first up winner once again, and has 2 victories in 5 nights for that horse. Now moving on to the barn of Malik Smith. So good luck to them moving forward with Savoir du Hurrah. But let's turn the page now to race number 6. Again, no late pick 5 tonight. No late pick 5, but we do have a late pick 4 starting right here. Low takeout, 15%. And this is where I kind of drew my line in the sand tonight as a spot play that I thought would actually provide some value. And it's the 4 Tierra Dancer. A horse that's, for me, I like betting older horses against younger horses. She's a 5-year-old mare and against a 2-year-old who is the favorite right now, DA Cinnamon Crunch, and a bunch of 3-year-olds as well. She's been racing against tougher competition, and I thought last time out she turned in a real good effort to be fourth, beaten just under 5 lengths steady as we go as the winner of that one. I think she'd be 1-9 in here as well as Storybook Bella. So I thought she's worth a shot here. 6-1 on the board. A horse that does have all kinds of early foot, if that's the game plan tonight. And I think it will be, even though I'm not so sure speed's holding up so great at the moment. But I guess we'll find out. The 4 Tierra Dancer, my single here, and my spot play of the evening, 6-1 on the board right now. And then we're going to spread out. That's what I like to do. If I like a horse at a price that I'm going to single, I'm going to spread out after that, and we're going to try to put some prices together. So I'm using the 3, 4, 5, and 7 in race number 7, competitive looking trotting event. I think the fixture looks like the best on paper. The problem is post 7 to work from. Race 8, the 2, 5, and 6, Storybook Bella is one that's going to, likely love getting back here to the river. She's won each of her last 3 over the surface. But again, post 5 and a tougher group, 3 deep there for me, 2, 5, and 6. Race 9. I love me some Rock and Bow, the 1. Like that one a lot tonight again, but also using the 4 Mr. Beast and the 9, who's going to follow that one out, better be going. So, a ticket where we're going to try to get a price down here. Tierra Dancer at 7-1 right now, and then have some multiples behind that one in the hopes of trying to put together a sequence that has more than one price on the board. $7.20 for a 20-cent wager, and that's the way I see the late pick 4. But you've got a couple of minutes to map out your winning wagers for this late pick 4 sequence. Again, the takeout's always a low 15%. We'll come back in just a few minutes, take a closer look at race number 6.
Field 4, race number 6 on parade 1. DA Cinnamon Crunch. Anthony Hahn for Carl Jamieson and Jet Jamieson and Haley Jamieson and Anita McDonald. Number 2 is Treasures Watching. Paul McKenzie for Eric Wilson and Don Lesheed. Number 3, No Place to Hide. Samuel will fill you up for Ashley Lenvoy and Tom Knight. Number 4, Tiara Dancer. Scotty Coulter for Les Posen. And 5 is Sky Velocity. Tyler Moore for Gary McDonald. And number 6, Renaissance. Brett McDonald for Bruce McDonald and Stephanie Smith-Brethog. Let's get a look at this field of 6. And, well, Rob, your spot play, number 4, Tiara Dancer. You're gambling that Les Posen will be posing in the winner's circle after the race.
I do, yeah. I like this horse quite a bit, Gary. And the thing for me is there's a lot of, boxes being ticked here by Tiara Dancer. And I know that obviously she's hasn't found the winner's circle in 6 tries this year, just 1 for 20 last year. But this is non-winners of 1 now, right? She's got 3 lifetime victories, and there's only one other horse in the race that's actually found the winner's circle before, and that's the 2-year-old who's 6-5 right now, the one DA Cinnamon Crunch. And Tiara Dancer's been facing much tougher. I mean, you look back, even some of the lines, here further down the page, the class above this, 2 classes above this, and then most recently, now was a 3 at Flamborough Downs. I thought it was a good effort. I thought it kind of jumped off the page as her best one in a very long time, and it's not so far removed from a vet scratch sick either. So I just thought that getting to softer company, she might try to run away and hide on this group. And she's 9-2 right now as a 5-year-old mare and against younger horses. I'll give her a whirl all day and single her up in the pick 4 as well.
Actually, I love this idea because when you look at the page, you know that DA Cinnamon Crunch is going to get down to somewhere around even money or maybe even below that. And I just love finding reasons to take a shot against a favorite. And if you believe it, then it's worth the shot because DA Cinnamon Crunch 6-5 right now. The question with this one is, well, will she race the way she does here or the way she has at Mohawk?
Yeah, I think she's going to be competitive here. I think she looks like she should be, and we saw a solid effort on the engine to finish second, back in her first try over the surface. Then she came back with a victory on Industry Day. She got up by a head right in the final strides over Michelob Ultra, and then since then, I don't think the efforts have been poor at Mohawk Park, but she's still been racing against fellow 2-year-olds, and now she's facing against older horses, including a 5-year-old mare, which for me a maturity edge, something I'm always willing to get behind. And then when there's a horse that has at least something to back it up as well, like a solid effort last time and 3 victories under her belt, where the rest of the field has 1 combined. I'm going to steer away from that favorite and look in a different direction. So that's what I'm doing here. If she wins, I'll tip my cap to her, and I think she's got a big chance, but I just don't think she's worth it at 6-5.
I told you before, age doesn't always mean maturity. Number 3, No Place to Hide, 6 out of 8 in the top 3. In fact, kind of loves to finish 3rd.
Yeah, she does, and I tried to get there on top with her tonight, and to be honest, I wouldn't begrudge anyone for looking for value in that spot, but obviously it's not nearly as high at 5-2 versus the 5-1 that I'm taking right now if the odds hold true. But 0 for 8, last time no chance from post 8, so you got to like her chances getting back to a reasonable post position. And like you said, 5 third-place finishes, 1 runner-up finish, hits the board with all kinds of frequency, and I think she'll likely do that again tonight.
And 2 Treasures Watching hasn't won yet, but people who just tend to look at speed, 53-4 at Mohawk last race.
Yeah, and I thought that she's in with a chance here with the right kind of trip. One that's hit the board a few times as well, and I thought it was a solid effort, at Georgian Downs a few starts back to be second. So we'll see what she does here tonight.
It's DA Cinnamon Crunch, Treasures Watching on the inside. In the center, No Place to Hide, and Tiara Dancer to the outside, Sky Velocity and Renaissance. Field of 6, race number 6. Here they come. field for the sixth race into the stretch drive. Gathering speed approaching the start. And they're off. DA Cinnamon Crunch, Treasures Watching, No Place to Hide, and Tierra Dancer, Sky Velocity and Renaissance, and they work on around the turn. DA Cinnamon Crunch, as they race their way on into the backstretch, leads it as they get away in program order. Treasures Watching is currently second. No Place to Hide third. Then it is Tierra Dancer, Sky Velocity, and Renaissance is trailing the field, and they work their way on up to the opening quarter. DA Cinnamon Crunch, 6-5 of the board, has the lead over Treasures Watching, who's watching from about a length and 3/4 from the front. No Place to Hide third. Tierra Dancer is currently dancing fourth. Then Sky Velocity and Renaissance, a field of six, as they work their way off the turn, heading up towards the half of a 28-3 opening quarter. And now Anthony Hahn can look for his second panel breather, as there are no challengers right now. DA's Cinnamon Crunch leads at a length and a half. His Treasures Watching will watch from a closer pocket spot. Here comes Tierra Dancer now, and Tierra Dancer is waltzing up into contention. Then No Place to Hide to the outside, Sky Velocity and Renaissance. Into the backstretch, and DA Cinnamon Crunch to the outside. Tierra Dancer grinding has come on to take her second. DA Cinnamon Crunch, Tierra Dancer advancing now is a length back. Inside third, Treasures Watching, Sky Velocity. No Place to Hide. Renaissance has gone off stride. It is DA Cinnamon Crunch and Anthony Hahn to the outside. Tierra Dancer and Scotty Coulter. Treasures Watching's on the inside third, and Sky Velocity is fourth, and fifth is No Place to Hide. 3/4, DA Cinnamon Crunch, 128-4. Treasures Watching is getting a lovely trip. Is watching DA Cinnamon Crunch from a tight length and a half back. Center of the track, Tierra Dancer on down the stretch. Round they come. DA Cinnamon Crunch continuing. Treasures Watching up the inside as they come to the finish. DA Cinnamon Crunch is going to win. Treasures Watching, then Tierra Dancer, and fourth is between No Place to Hide and Sky Velocity. 158-2. DA Cinnamon Crunch at 6-5. Well, that post one does kind of allow you to get things your own way, Rob.
Yeah, it does. And 28-3, it's a legit opening quarter too. And it's one of those things, Gary, where right off the gates, I didn't feel very good about things because I could see Scott Coulter tried to blast with Tierra Dancer. He did all he could to get her rolling off the switch. And she couldn't do it. She ended up just maintaining her position in the four hole. It was probably used pretty hard to get to that spot because she did try to blast off the wings of the gate. Came first up, gave me a couple of moments of excitement, but just couldn't get to the front runner.
And then we got to see if I didn't think got second, but no, didn't. But it was close. I mean, almost had the second spot. But look, I'll never fault someone who takes a 9-2 horse trying to beat a 6-5 horse, because really that's actually the name of the game in this when you're betting.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you gotta pick your spots, right? And I thought it looked like a good one to maybe try to get a price down, and I figured she'd be around that price at 9-2. I thought 5-1 or so. And again, we got a strong effort, right? That's all you really want when you get behind a horse that's a price. You want to see them get put in a position to win, and that's what they did tonight with Tierra Dancer. She ends up just missing by a nose for second, but at least she tried to leave off the gate. And she, had the right line pulled to come first over and to be given every chance to get the victory. But DA Cinnamon Crunch was just too good and has now won her last two here at the River.
And Treasures Watching, Paul McKenzie, got the trip set on the back of that one, so it worked out beautifully for him. 1, 2, 4, 5 is the top four. 1, DA Cinnamon Crunch, a 2-year-old Captain Crunch Bay filly, owned by Carl Jameson and Jet Jameson and Haley Jameson and Anita McDonald. Carl Jameson, the trainer. Anthony Hahn, the winning driver. It's the second win for DA Cinnamon Crunch, 158-2. The sixth race payouts: 1. DA Cinnamon Crunch, 440, 290, 270. 2. Treasures Watching, 390, 320. 4. Tierra Dancer, 310. $2 Exactor, 890. Dollars Try, 1150. Dollar Super, 2615. The sixth race, or finish from the top: 1, 2, 5, 3, 4, 6. That's 1, 2, 5, 3, 4, 6 on the bottom. Field 4, race number 7 on parade. 1 is Shushi Deo. Samuel Fillion for Daryl Laver and Leanne Davidson. Number 2 is Quite Fast out Ratchford for Matthew Bax and Bax Stable and Glengate Farms and Brillo Farms. 3, Bastiano, Colin Keller for Don Lindsay and Bernie Barr. Number 4 is Mr. Fritter, Paul McKenzie for Gary McDonald and Dean Marson Stable and Peter Muscolzi and John Frieda. And 5 is Petro Angel. It's Brett McDonald for Daryl Laver. Number 6 is Third Time's the Dream. It is Tyler Moore for Jim Ellis. And number 7, The Fixer, Scott Culver, David Fry. It is a field of 7 for race number 7. We'll look at this field, but Rob, before we do, just a quick note, the trainer Jim Ellis in the hospital watching this, so a quick shout out to Jim Ellis, somebody that I've known for a long time. Hope he's doing well and will get better and have a quick recovery. Jim's one of the first people I knew in harness racing, probably back in about 92 or 93. Would have met him the first time. So just thoughts and our hopes and prayers with Jim Ellis, training the 6 in this race. Third time's the dream. But number 7, The Fixer, is your top choice. Tell us about The Fixer.
Well, yeah, the fixer for me, Gary, I just thought kind of looked like one that with a better post, I would say maybe lays over this group, right? Because we've seen some good efforts from the fixer, especially here on Industry Day, and a preferred 2, only missed by half a length to Arrakis, and since then has been up against it, right? Racing at Mohawk Park, and then racing back in the preferred here. I thought was a real tough edition of it, 2 starts back, and then the trailing post at Flamborough last time out against a solid group there as well. But the problem for the fixer tonight, obviously, is post 7. But I think that if you can get into the mix off the switch, or even just get into a live outer flow, he can still get the victory in here. And 3 to 1's a big price on the board.
Absolutely value, and he should be the best one in here. But the post can tend to neutralize things. Petro Angel is one that comes in, had been at Mohawk last race, Sarnia before that. You see him facing some decent company, a preferred 3 class, August the 19th at Sarnia, and raced credibly.
And I like her score down right now, Brett McDonald, someone who's driven her many times in the past. And, she's a horse that I think personally, I mean, I thought out of the 2 horses from the barn at Gerald Laver, I liked her chances better, but the other one's taking all the support right now, Shushi Deo, and maybe not pound for pound, but I thought at least right now, off recent efforts, I thought maybe she'd be the better one of the 2 in here tonight. It was a nice victory on August the 12th at Sarnia, and then has turned in some, I thought some pretty good efforts since then too. Even after the break too, got herself back into contention to only miss by 4 lengths, and then last time out Mohawk Park in a spot that was just maybe a bit too tough for her, but she actually got the better of her stablemate on that occasion. So the odds board's not making sense to me right now, 5 to 1 versus 6 to 5. But I do like Petro Angel for a big piece of it.
I wanted to go to 3, Bastiano on top. I ended up using that one for second, and only because of my respect for the fixer. Bastiano's kind of come on really nicely lately, and of course, off a win.
Yeah, that victory last time was a big step in the right direction for a horse that we know can pile up the victories, right? He can string them together. And I wouldn't be surprised to see him double up in here, especially from post 3. A horse that can go out there and blast off the wings of the gate. I'd be shocked if he's not forwardly placed looking for the lead again tonight. And like you said, he's been hitting the board with frequency lately, and really been moving in the right direction. He's won over 208,000 in his career, 31 lifetime victories, and 4 to 1's not a bad number on him. I thought he might get overbet in here. Not happening right now.
Number 4, Mr. Fritter, 11 to 1. Now look, really good in the last couple races, but compare those fields and this one.
Well, I mean, I would say that this is obviously, significantly tougher. But the thing about Mr. Fritter is he kind of wasn't competitive at any point in many of his recent efforts, but until those 2. So we've kind of agreed in the past on him that if the old version of him would show up, he could be competitive, maybe even win these races. And it just hasn't happened. But now, under the tutelage of Gary McDonald, we've seen some better efforts as of late. Even if it's been against softer, it's just got for Mr. Critter to get a victory, and then last time only by So
And you do
I think
know,
he
and
has
you
a chance.
and you do know with Mr. Fritter, it's in there because 54 and 2 last year at Mohawk to take a mark, and is one that earned 37,024 starts last year. So Mr. Fritter, it's in there and has back class as well.
Yeah, definitely one that you can't throw out here, especially at 13 to 1. What do you think about Shoshi Deo going off a 2 to 1 right now, Gary?
Well, neither one of us had the Shushideo in the top four, 2 to 1. Your thoughts?
Well, honestly, I didn't see that coming. But Sammy Uprichard messaged me today. He's a big fan of the program, and he loves this one tonight from the pole position. He said it was his best bet of the night, so maybe he's onto something here.
Well, we'll see if Sammy comes away with a slammy here from post one. Shushideo 5 to 2. Shushideo quite fast on the inside. Bastiano, Mr. Fritter, and Petro Angel in the center to the outside. Third time's the dream and the fixer. Field of 7. Race number 7. Here they come. Field for the 7th race. Is at the start of the rough. Bastiano, Mr. Fritter, Petro Angel, quite fast on the inside. Then third time's the dream and the fixer, and Shushideo on the inside. And it's Bastiano who's able to grab the early lead with Mr. Fritter in the pocket. Petro Angel is racing third, and then quite fast is racing position fourth. Then third time's the dream and the fixer, and Shushideo. It's Bastiano who's got the lead. Bastiano, Mr. Fritter at 25 to 1's in the pocket. Petro Angel third. Quite fast racing fourth. Then third time's the dream. And the fixer is second from last. And Shushideo is back trailing the field. And they work their way on around the turn. And it is Bastiano at 2 to 1 who's got the lead right now for Colin Kelly as they race their way off the turn. And racing second is right now, Paul McKenzie and Mr. Fritter in the pocket. Petro Angel inside third. There goes third time's the dream now coming on. And then quite fast to the inside. The fixer has started to roll to the outside but has a lot of work to do. And Shushideo is well back trailing the field. It is Bastiano who's got the lead. Bastiano, and then Petro Angel, and to the outside third time's the dream. Mr. Fritter on the inside weakens, and then the fixer is fifth, but still about a half dozen lengths off the lead, but is coming on now a bit. 58-3 was the half, and they head to three quarters, and it is Bastiano, third time's the dream. Petro Angel, the fixer is fourth and closing, but still about 4.5 off the lead, and fifth is Mr. Fritter. Bastiano, third time's the dream on the outside. Bastiano on third time's the dream as the field is about to turn from Bastiano on the inside, trying to find a little bit more. On the outside, third time's the dream as they come on down the stretch drive. Darting into the passing lane is Petro Angel, three across the track. Third time's the dream on the outside is going to get it over Bastiano. Then Petro Angel and the fixer. Third time's the dream, 158-3. Third time's the dream for Jimmy Ellis. And, well, Tyler Moore victorious. Nice finish there for third time's the dream.
It was sometimes it's just meant to be, right, Gary? And third time's the dream ends up just grinding away here in the first over position before getting past. And that was a good victory, really. I mean, he's strong to the wire here at a bombs away price.
Yeah, that bombs away price, let me check, is a nice little 19 to 1. And look at this, battling down the lane. Oh, look, I told you I wanted to take Bastiano because that was a really game effort. You can't fault Bastiano. He did all that he could do. But third time's the dream is one. And I said, he's been really good in the past and just wanted to see his best. And his best, we got to see it at the finish.
Yeah, he's one of those ones that you know that if he can bring his best effort, he can be right there at the wire. How about second longest shot on the board, 19 to 1? Just a monster number. And you said Bastiano, he's got a resurgence happening right now, right? Because I mean, he did all the heavy lifting on the engine there, and another good effort. He didn't give it up easily on the end there. He fought to the finish. He got bet down to 2 to 1 in there, but the fixer, who we thought was value throughout, ended up being no value at all at 3 to 5, and just wasn't able to get into the race at any point. Petro Angel, I thought, decent enough effort first over for it before dropping in the two hole. Third 11 to 1. But the story of this race, third time's a dream. A horse that I certainly overlooked tonight, but hopefully some people Cash their tickets in this one are 19-1.
Well, he took a third time's the dream for third after the 7-3, which is a couple that I thought the fixer and Bastiano. But I'm just happy that Jimmy Ellis has got a smile on his face, enjoying third time's the dream's victory at 19-1. And as you said, sometimes things are just meant to be. It's a 6-3-5-7 top four in race number 7. Coming back in front of us is number 6, third time's the dream, a 4-year-old Il Sango Dream Bay gelding, owned and trained by Jim Ellis. Tyler Moore, the winning driver. It's the 5th win this year, 14th lifetime, third time's the dream, 158-3. The payouts, the 7th race, number 6, third time's the dream, 41.90, 14.20, and 5.70. 3, Bastiano, 4.30, 2.80. 5, Petro Angel, $4, $2 exactor, 133.20. Dollar try, 236.80. Dollar superfective, 593.55. Seventh race or finish from the top, 7625314. That's 7625314. Field for the 8th on parade. One canvas of stars. Paul McKenzie for Eric Wilson. And number 2 is Pink Monster. Scott Quiller for Dean Nixon and Boris Loss. Number 3 is No Money Honey. Daryl Thiessen for Kyle Boston and Stewart and Patricia Bolander. 4 is Brindley Sealster. Brett Madonna for Courtney Bishop. And 5 is Storybook Bella. Jay Harris for Robert Kyle Fellows and Marie Cox. Number 6, Valley of Fear. Travis Henry for Blake McIntosh and Hunt Racing. Field of 6 for race number 8. And, well, I think we know who the story is about here in the 8th race and where we'll start. The 3-year-old sports rider filly from post position 5, Rob.
Yeah, and she's had all kinds of success here at the River, Gary, and gets along splendidly with Jay Harris as well. And no surprise, she's getting bet off the board right now at 3-5. And her last effort, she got beat at 1-9, but she did all the work on the engine before missing by a head to Steady As We Go, who's a horse that I think's got some serious ability as well. And before that, she was fourth in a grassroots one by Twinbee Delight. So she's got to really like getting back here to the River, and she gets reunited with Jay Harris, and will likely be sent down the road, I would think, from post 5. 3-5 on the board, though nothing too appealing about that.
And I should mention that last race, Storybook Bella, that was a solid non-winners at 3 class, which is a level above this one. Number 2, Pink Monster, is your second choice, 6-1. And this is one that, well, last race was a tough post and just couldn't get into the race at Flamborough. But, well, won't have that problem here, no, probably.
Yeah, no, from post 2, you've got to think that she's going to be forwardly placed from that spot. And her last 3 efforts have all been in non-winners of 3. Against, I would say, at least comparable company. Latest was against Storybook Bella, but like you said, trailing post, got away 8th off the gate, never in it at all. But 3 starts ago, a good second at a similar level at Georgian Downs. I just thought that this is a horse that I've always kind of liked, and thinking that if you look for the right spot tonight, I think Pink Monster's kind of found it from an inside draw against a palatable group. Obviously, might get against the likes of Georgia Bella. I think the user winner in the back.
And then number 6, Valley of Fear, is one that it's hard to figure out what to make of her, because she came up with a really superb effort here July the 7th to win 54-4 front end effort. And you do see this one with quite a bit of skill, racing at Woodbine in 51 and change, and but has just that one win on the year. In the last couple races, they were not particularly good at all, Rob.
No, but much tougher last time, right? So non-winners of 3,000, last 3 in her latest. Salzburg Jesse, I mean, what would you bet on Salzburg Jesse against this group? Now, I know she didn't really have much to offer. She was overland and she faded back to 9th. But I look at the field she's been facing recently, and they're infinitely tougher than what she's facing tonight. And even that win, if you go back to July 7th, the night that I know you were really fond of her, I mean, decent enough group too. My Only Sunshine escaped the house. That's the top condition class here too. So I actually looked at her tonight, and she's one that I've been fading in many of her efforts. I think tonight's the night you might want to jump on the bandwagon, because to me, this group looks well within her reach if she can bring her best. Now, that's obviously a big if, but 7-1 might be worth finding out.
And full disclosure, I did use her for second after Storybook Bella, so I still think that there's, I know it's in the tank there. Number 1, Canvas of Stars, inside post position and 9-1, and off a good last race.
Good effort last time at 63-1. What do I like about this one? Obviously, pole position, early foot. We know what that usually leads to, a favorable journey. You sit on the pylons for her, just, try to hide out there and then get as much as you can in the stretch. I thought that obviously the 2-1 morning line was way too short, but 10-1, I can get involved with this one in the bottom end of the try and super.
Well, it is a field of 6 for race number 8, but Storybook Bella, not surprising, is 1-2 on the board right now. Canvas of Stars and Pink Monster on the inside. In the center, No Money Honey, Brindley Seals to the outside, Storybook Bella, Valley of Fear. It's a field of 6 for race number 8. Field for the 8th race. He is at the start of the rough. No Money Honey is going to leave a Storybook Bella. Canvas of Stars and Pink Monster on the inside. Canvas of Stars uses that inside advantage and has the front. Storybook Bella continues to work on the outside, and Jay Harris wants to grab the lead with Storybook Bella and is driving up on the outside now and is going to take the front as they work their way on towards the opening quarter. Canvas of Stars is second. Pink Monster Monster third, then No Money Honey and Valley of Fear, and Brindley Sealster is trailing the field. Storybook Bella 1-9 on the board now. Canvas of Stars second, Pink Monster third, then No Money Honey, Valley of Fear, and Brindley Sealster is trailing. 28-second opening quarter, and they work their way off the turn and head on towards us. And fronting the field is the heavy favorite Storybook Bella, Canvas of Stars, enjoying watching things from the pocket, and Pink Monster now moving up on the outside. And then it is Valley of Fear and No Money Honey, and to the outside Brindley Sealster. 3 to the inside, 3 to the outside, on into the backstretch off a half of 58-1. Storybook Bella, Jay Harris, is moving along on that lead of a length and 3/4 over Canvas of Stars, with Pink Monster racing third, and No Money Honey is fourth, and then Valley of Fear on the outside fifth, and then Brindley Sealster, and they race their way on by the 3/4 mile marker, and Storybook Bella continues gamely on the lead, and now is going to stretch it out a little bit, grab a little daylight on Canvas of Stars, and leads it by about 2 1/4 now. And then Pink Monster third, and then it's No Money Honey and Valley of Fear and Brindley Sealster, and they work their way on down the stretch drive, and Storybook Bella is still cruising. Now gets some urging as they come to the finish, but Storybook Bella is going to win it by about a length and 3/4. Canvas of Stars, then Pink Monster, and No Money Honey. Storybook Bella, well, you just grab the lead, and when you're much the best, really, you kind of get left alone, Rob.
Yeah, it's true. No one really wants to take. She blasted off the wings of the gate, Gary, and looked like she might, gets caught wide to the first turn for a bit, but she's just got enough early foot to come around them. But she got hammered down to 1-9 there. I mean, it's one of those ones where, yeah, she looks she's the best on paper, but it's always tough to get behind any horse at that short of a price. But kind of won like a 1-9 shot. Wood, you called it though, right? Like kind of all of a sudden did some urging late there, but it was like she just needed a bit of a wake up call. Maybe she was kind of, falling a little bit asleep on the lead there. Jay Harris just kind of made her stay to her task, and she won by as much as she pleased really on the end of it.
Yeah, and I mean, you're not going to try to park her going to the quarter, and look, Paul McKenzie gets the pocket trip and finishes second, so it was absolutely what he needed to do.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Canvas of Stars is what I said, right? Pole position, early foot. We know that usually leads to a favorable journey. It's exactly what happened, right? As long as you blast out of there, you're more than happy to let a horse like Storybook Bella go and sit the pocket behind them, and then you maintain your position to finish a nice second, right? At 22-1, obviously inflated odds because of the 1-9 of the winner. But Pink Monster, kind of tried to get past that one late. Kind of hung on the outside, but didn't miss by much. So I think a decent effort for that one as well. Kind of played out logical. Valley of Fear, I thought we'd see a bigger effort from that one tonight. Just didn't have it, right? Kind of like you said, most recent efforts were a little bit concerning, and she kind of stayed on trend with those.
It's a 5-1-2-3 top four. Back in front of us is number 5, Storybook Bella, 3-year-old Sports Rider Bay filly, owned by Murray Cox, trained by Robert Kyle Fellows. Jay Harris, the Green Arrow, victorious. It's the 4th win this year, 5th lifetime. Storybook Bella, 156 flat. Eighth race payouts: 5 Storybook Bella, 230, 210, 210. 1 Canvas of Stars, 590, 470, and 2 Pink Monster, 360. $2 exactor, 43.40. Dollar try, 51.85. Dollar super, $100.75. Eighth race, order of finish from the top 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 6. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 6 in the bottom. Field for race 9 on parade 1. Rockin' Bow. Pat Houdon for Catherine Flanagan at Winters Racing. Number 2. Dream Fair Sunshine. Scotty Kohler for Jason Libby and John Lamers. 3 is St. Lad's Beat It. Anthony Hahn for Lori LePage and Rebecca Williamson. Number 4 is Mr. Beast. Colin Kelly for Brett Lester and Rose Smith. 5, Adore Him. Jay Harris for Kurt Blake and Robert Blake. Number 6, Final Cheese Recipe. Travis Henry for Blake McIntosh and Kim and Dan Sargent. Number 7, YS Delight. Paul McKenzie for Gary McDonald. 8 is DM John Wick. It's Tyler Moore for Don Lindsay and Andrea Lindsay. And 9 is Better Be Going. Nick Boyd for Wilfred Perot and Grant and Joanne Kernow. Field of 9 for race number 9. The final dash featuring the Super High Five. And, well, let's get right to it. And look, number 1, Rockin' Bow. I kind of thought you'd rock back to Rockin' Bow. And certainly you got a nice price to win out of Rockin' Bow August the 16th. And last race, beaten only a couple of lengths in against much tougher. Drops back down a level from that and gets the inside. So I can see all of your logic and your buddy Pat Houdon, Rob.
Yeah, exactly. You know what? He kind of finds happy middle ground, right? You said it. It was tougher last time. Obviously easier two back when he got the job done. What I loved about that effort, though, Gary, is what I kind of wanted to see from him all along was that one brush move. He did it on that occasion, and he scored in 53 and 3. That's a monster mile. And last time was trying to, fish through late. Couldn't get any room really in the late stages. Not so sure he had an abundance of pace, but like you said, it was against tougher competition. I don't, think that he's without a chance in here. And 7-1 to me is a massive overlay on Rock and Bow, getting back to a level that should be much more to his liking. So let's get on the track right now, and any kind of trip, I think he can be right there at the wire.
And look, number 4, Mr. Beast is getting a lot of love at even money. So why not also, if you like the 1, somebody once told me if you like the 1, you could like the 9. Now, it hasn't been quite as much this year, but certainly could like Better Be Going because 7 out of 14 on the exactor ticket this year, including each of the last couple.
Yeah, and all kinds of back class too, right? Over 206,000 made, 16 lifetime victories. And his last couple have been really good at Kawartha Downs. Actually, his last start here was a go in the same race that Rock and Bow comes out of. And I thought that he had some pace late. Actually, that was the week before against Curious Cortez, but he did have some pace in the end of that mile at 16-1. And Nick Boyd's been getting along really well with him. And Brad A, our friend from Chicago, he chimed in on Twitter when Chad asked, who to like on the card tonight. He said Better Be Going was the one that he thought would make a statement tonight. And 9-1 right now. It's a big price on Better Be Going. I think that obviously the odds board right now is a bit skewed because Mr. Beast is taking all the support at 4-5, but I think we'll both agree a lot of that probably comes from that 50-4 line that people see on the page, which totally different kettle of fish racing at Mohawk Park versus here at Grand River. And I think that right now is way too short of a price on Mr. Beast. Does he have a chance to win? Of course he does. But that's created some ridiculous value in other places. And the 9 Better Be Going. It's a monster number at 8-1.
And those classes that Mr. Beast faced before that last race at Mohawk, that's just the bottom condition. Didn't score the win in there. 54-1, 55-1. So Mr. Beast, I think, is one that, at 4-5, I wouldn't be backing at that price. But you still have to talk about him because he's legit. Like he does have lots of wheels.
Oh yeah, he's in with a big chance in here. Like I think that you could even make an argument that he is a deserving favorite. I just don't think he's deserving at 4-5. And you said it, those two lines below his last one, like you said, that's bottom condition at Georgian Downs. And at the end of the day, it's kind of comparable to where Rock and Bow won 2 starts ago. right? I mean, it's similar. So, and he wasn't winning in there. Now, tougher horses, I guess, but at the end of the day, I think that 6-1 on Rock and Bow or 5-1 Better Be Going. I would much prefer that than taking odds on Mr. Beast.
And I can tell you right now, if I'm trying to beat Mr. Beast, if he stays at that price, I'm going to St. Lad's beat it. Look at the measuring stick 2 lines ago.
Yeah, no, it's a good one. You're right. I mean, St. Lad's beat it. Curious Cortez, even Artie's Ideal, right? I mean, we would probably back either one of those horses in here. And St. Lad's beat it's a horse that since getting back to Grand River, he's turned in good performances. And I did not dream that he'd be 11-1. Again, we're seeing a skewed odds board, but I thought he'd be more like about 4 or 5-1 in here.
That's where I'd be going to right now, off the 4-5 to the 9-1. And you also included 7 Wyeth Delight on the bottom of your ticket, off back-to-back wins, but a tougher post, but is offering 8-1. Rockin' Bow, 7-1 on the board. Your top choice with Dreamfair Sunshine. St. Lad's beat it on the inside of the center. Mr. Beast and Adore Him. And to the outside, Final Cheese Recipe, Wyeth Delight, and DM John Wick. And the second tier, Better Be Going. It's a field of 9. It's race number 9.
Giddy up.
Field for the 9th race. Gathering speed. Here they come. Giddy up. There at the start of the rough, St. Lad's beat it, Dreamfair Sunshine, and Rockin' Bow, and Mr. Beast and Adore Him, but Rockin' Bow and Hurricane Houdon storming out to the lead, and then Dreamfair Sunshine, St. Lad's beat it, Mr. Beast is 4th away, then it is Better Be Going and Adore Him, and Final Cheese Recipe, Wyeth Delight and DM John Wick, Rockin' Bow, 13-1 on the board, rocks the field up to the opening quarter, in front of Dreamfair Sunshine at 17-1. St. Lad's beat it is racing 3rd, and Mr. Beast, the 1-2 favorite, is currently 4th, and then it is Better Be Going, who's currently going from 5th. Back in 6th, Adore Him, trailing 3 are Final Cheese Recipe, Wyeth Delight, and DM John Wick, 28-2 the opening quarter, and St. Lad's beat it popped out from 3rd to come first over, giving cover to Mr. Beast, who's 2nd over 4th. That as they come up to the turn, or rather up to the half off the turn, it's Rockin' Bow, and St. Lad's beat it going at it. Rockin' Bow with a lead of ahead. St. Lad's beat it on the outside. Dreamfair Sunshine. And Mr. Beast is racing 4th. Then Better Be Going. Final Cheese Recipe. Along to the inside as they work their way into the back stretch is Adore Him. And then it is back further to Wyeth Delight and DM John Wick. Rockin' Bow is still holding off St. Lad's beat it, who's grinding on the outside and is just about a nose off the lead. They're paired up as they head to 3/4. St. Lad's beat it by nose. Rockin' Bow tries to rally to the inside. Mr. Beast is still sitting 2nd over and is about a length and 3/4 off the lead in on the inside. 4th is Dreamfair Sunshine. And then Better Be Going and Adore Him. But Rockin' Bow is game on the inside. Center of the track is St. Lad's beat it. Mr. Beast is looming 3 wide. Dreamfair Sunshine to the inside. And Better Be Going is digging in late on down the stretch drive for Rockin' Bow. Rockin' Bow trying to roll to the finish and hold off a charge from Mr. Beast. Rockin' Bow rolls to victory and takes it. Then it was Dreamfair Sunshine, Mr. Beast, and St. Lad's beat it 155-1. Rockin' Bow at 13-1. How does that rock your night, Rob?
Oh, it's pretty good. It's a nice way to end it. 13. I
Nice
can't
call,
believe the
Gary.
price, Gary. I'll be honest. I cannot believe the price of 13-1. I mean, we got a preview of what Pat Hudon could do with this horse 2 starts ago at 7-1. Like you said, this is not far away from the competition he was facing on that time around, and it was a big effort. I mean, I love the fact that Pat set him down the road today. Right, pole position. They were stacked up early, but he just shot through there. He wanted to cut it out. And St. Lad's beat it, obviously, a stiff first over challenge a long way. He fended that one off, and Mr. Beast wasn't able to make any kind of a move at him, and Dreamfair Sunshine kept that one at bay as well. 13-1. I never dreamed he'd be that kind of a number. I thought maybe 4 or 5-1 would be value on him. 13-1 will take it all day long.
Well, you're smiling because it's 13-1, and Pat will be smiling in the winner's circle because he's always smiling. Happy Houdon is what his nickname really should be.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. I love me some Pat Hudon. Always greets you with a smile. Always walks up and asks you how you're doing as well, which one of my favorite guys around a racetrack and around a paddock. So always happy to see him in the winner's circle.
And you know, we didn't talk about number 2, Dream for Sunshine, and was only beaten 3/4 at Clinton last race, but got the trip and was able to hold on the inside and at a nice price of 17-1.
Yeah, as soon as he stuffed his way into the pocket, I knew it was going to be real tough to get him off this ticket, and he maintained his position to finish second, and there he is, big smile, Pat Hudon. A little celebration there with Rockenbow. Love that smile.
Now, lately, you've proved yourself right about Rock and Bow. I was a doubter, but now, off of winning at 7.5-1, 7-1, 2 starts ago, and now at 13-1, you should be more than out on Rock and Bow.
Oh yeah, no, we're in the black now, Gary. We got there. We almost got there last time, and now we're there, and now we can play with house money on him going forward.
It's a 1, 2, 4, 3, 9, Rock and Bow and Hurricane. Hudon in the winner's circle. Rock and Bow, 8-year-old Rock and Roll Heaven Bay gelding, owned by Catherine Flanagan at Winters Racing. Catherine Flanagan is the trainer. It's the 3rd win this year, 8th lifetime. Rock and Bow, 155-1, rocks the tote board. Ninth race payouts, 1 Rock and Bow, 28.75, 92.92, Dream for Sunshine, 11.40 and $5, and 4 Mr. Beast, 280. The dollar pick 3, 319.60. The dollar win for 728.35. $2 exactor, 225.40. Dollar try, 245.40. The double is $26. The dollar high five, 2,252.05. The ninth race payouts, a rather rundown. I'm so excited about Rock and Bow. It's a 1, 2, 4, 3, 7, 6, 8, 9, 5. That's 1, 2, 4, 3, 7, 6, 8, 9, 5. And I'm also excited about the Buffalo Bills, up 13-3 at the halftime over the New York Regrets. That does conclude the live harness racing program for this Monday evening. Action resumes on Wednesday. Our first dash on a Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Buenas noches, amigos. Good night, everybody. Good night, Christine.
Good night, Gary.
Go Bills.